today's It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5". Through him. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, the person carrying the ball is always the easy target when things aren't going so well, but I think it's a combination with the Chargers. They've got to get the offensive line going in order to improve those numbers from last year. They weren't very good running it, partner.
No, they were bottom of the AFC, second to last in the entire NFL. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12.
Let's go! Man 38!
From the gun, Robbins. Room here to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down. To punt it away on 4th down, here's Drew Kaiser. That's taken on the 25. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback. And some room to maneuver. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
The play fake. He'll look to throw. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. So a first quarter sack. And remember, keep in mind, he had 2 sacks in last week's game.
And it's always intriguing to me to watch these great pass rushers because some of them, they need their teammates to scheme for them. Maybe occupy people and make it a one-on-one matchup. Other guys, they just defeat everything in front of them. To get 2 sacks in a game, it's a little bit of both for you.
An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on 3rd down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off at the 21.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Heading back out, the Chargers offense. We get a peek at the playoff picture of the AFC as we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, you know, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have a playoffs. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season.
And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening. As a guy carrying the ball, your eyes are going to direct your feet, and you're hoping they carry you to the open spaces, but it's awfully difficult at times because you have so many things you have to look out for. Where's the line blocking? Where's the traffic coming from? Tough to find open spots.
And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, you know, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
That one goes for 24 yards. Now a play fake here on first down. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
Well, there's times when you see these catches that are made, and we just know the guys playing it are really wishing for college rules. Only need that one foot down instead of 2. It's awfully difficult on the sideline, isn't it?
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. The 20. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Chargers have taken a first quarter lead. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. When they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. Extra point attempt here still to come. And the Chargers grab the 7-0 lead. The punter Kaiser now out to kick it away. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Now they try the right side here. Not a whole lot of room to run. Gets it to the 35 after showcasing the great move. Give them 4 on the carry there, but that only takes them back to where they started. 3rd and 10. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion. Partner, I know that play didn't work very well, but an old New York Giants quarterback taught me a lesson a long time ago. Sometimes running the draw actually takes courage in play calling. You're actually setting something up for later in the game, and just because it was unsuccessful then doesn't mean it won't be successful later.
Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
Back to throw here. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Campbell. And they pick up 25 as they convert on third. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And they give this time to the tailback. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
They'll set up a throw. This will be caught at about the 5. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. They come out here in the eye. They go play action here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on first and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
They'll look to throw here. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up an interesting third and goal. This offense so far on third down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is third and goal. Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. This offense 2 for 2 on third downs on this drive. This is the most important of them all. Third and goal. Back to throw. And that is incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field, it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
On now is the field goal team here as the Raiders will try for 3. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick is indeed good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. And, Charles, they get the field goal. Took them a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. on the field. Here comes Los Angeles. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
Looking to throw. Robbins. And he's got some space here. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
So out come the Raiders. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And this is caught at the 8. A very solid gain of 27. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And picked up by the Chargers. And a great return as he's up close to the 40-yard line. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. They run a draw here on second down. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It'll be a loss of 1, and all of a sudden here, it's third down.
After a play like that, everyone on defense has got to go to the defensive line and give them their kudos. They destroyed everything inside. No place for the runner to go with the ball.
And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. Give them 12 yards there, and the Chargers have a first down. On 1st and 10, Robbins. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And he's brought down. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. Well, this is how you shape the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That is caught inside the 5. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. A great play there. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead. And nothing special there. They showed they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
And it's going to make our score 15-3. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. The punter Kaiser now out to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And, oh, he is really laid out that time. Knocked flat on his back at the 23. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver. We asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Raider linemen might have been moving.
False start, offense.
That's on the big guard, Gabe Jackson. They'll set up to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. The Raiders on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be third and forever. Looking to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula's not working right now. Here's Marquette King now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Chargers will be set up pretty well as they take over in great field position. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball. I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Larry Ridley in Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Here we go.
Looking to throw on second down. Robbins firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. The Chargers on third down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Robbins. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
The Chargers will bring out the field goal unit now. From the right hash, this from 53. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So a good kick there, and they wrap up the drive by putting 3 on the board.
And you know, let's face it, you're not always going to come away with 6. Defense in the NFL are just too good. But you've got to come away with something. And there, they get 3.
Following the field goal on is the punter, Drew Kaiser, to kick it off. This is taken at his 4. take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Throwing middle, and it's complete. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Newton. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Back to throw now on first down. He's going to look deep down the field. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect. That was close to a big play, and just a little bit too far that he was led. He caught it, but couldn't stay in bounds, Charles.
Yeah, I'm not very good at these sort of things, but I have to believe the farther you are downfield, the less your margin for error in throwing the ball, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so they gave it a good effort.
Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number one. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and that just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
They'll try and throw for it here. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Chargers are happy to be in front right now and just want to play 2 more solid quarters. The Raiders didn't play their best, and they'll need to be at their best now to come back. So let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. Raiders on offense early in the first. The hurry throw would be picked off. Lee's in position, and he's the one who comes away with the ball. Offense on the field now after the INT. Felton's wide open, able to make the grab. And this will go all the way for a touchdown. They strike first in the half. After the pick, offense comes out now. Ball's going to be up for grabs here. Now following the fumble, Postlesny's looking for room to run, and he capped off the long drive with the TD. The lead now at 11.
Okay, Larry, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for them, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on. Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. They'll look to throw here on first down. And that's going to be incomplete.
And that incompletion was caused by the defense. I think they were trying to get one into the middle of the field, trying to find a receiver there. But they were in zone defense. And what are the advantages of being in zone? Eyes and reaction. Eyes meaning all eyes are on the quarterback and able to react when he throws the football and rally to that spot. And that's exactly what happened there. Able to get there and knock it away. They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And a big hit at the end of that one. He's knocked down hard, right near the 39. Here we go with 2nd and 7. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
The gun now on 3rd down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at about the 31, the 30, 10. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Point after here coming up. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And following the pick 6, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. Now back to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Newton. And down he goes just beyond the 35. And that pretty move got him some extra space to run. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
The Raiders on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. Here it's 3rd and 3. He'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Campbell. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
They run the counter now on first down. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
On play action, they'll throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Bowman. And he'll be out of bounds, able to take it down to the 40. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 more yards there and another first down. Nothing flashy there, the slant to the slot.
Oh, and the frustration for the defensive guys, because it's a quick play, and you know it's going to be a bang-bang play in terms of the throw and the catch, and then he's able to absorb the contact and complete it.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rush is just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
He'll look to throw. That is caught at the 7. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Extra point attempt to come here. And this is up and good. That'll make it a score now of 24-10. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you offside. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Throwing on 3rd and long. Robbins. He's going to wind up and air it out. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
I would dare say that these guys would have liked to have given their defense a little bit more rest since they gave up a touchdown their last time out. But alas, my man, that's not going to happen.
Yep, they're going to have to grab those helmets, get right back out there. Here's Drew Kaiser now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
And now here's a carry heading left. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I think they want to start getting back into this game. It behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive.
Here we go now.
They're going to look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. That one goes for 24 yards. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Great footwork, but still wrangled down before reaching the 20. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. 2nd down now after the pass completion. This will be caught inside the 10. And he is out of bounds, but not before taking this down to the 8. They've got another 1st down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. 1st and goal from the 8. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at the StubHub Center in Carson. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the 4th. Back to throw again. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 3 yards is the gain that time. 2nd and goal.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. They'll need to get the play off quickly. They'll look to throw. And he fires one incomplete. The big tight end, Clive Walford, the intended target. And it's 3rd and 5.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
He'll drop to throw. Hard throw, incomplete.
They always say that real estate is about location. Well, guess what? When it's a slant route, the quick ones, timing, timing, timing. Got to be able to lead your man with the football.
And the timing off right there. Threw it behind him. Okay, so thought they might go for it here. Down late. Instead, they trot out the field goal unit from the right hash. And this one just a chippy. And this one is right through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So give them 3 there. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they couldn't punch it in.
And credit this defense, too. That was the old bend but don't break approach. But it kept the offense out of the end zone.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Heading back out, the Chargers offense. We get a peek at the playoff picture in the AFC. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head.
Let's go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz,
and the Raiders have got him. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week, and this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back. And they did a great job in the first half. But now they've gotten their first sack here in the second half. Look out. They'll try to increase the pressure.
Here's Drew Kaiser now as he's on to punt for L.A. Return that time. 18 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now here come the Raiders. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. Decent start to the drive there. Of course, they need the touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal.
Yeah, those guys are into it. How about the guys on the sidelines? You see the coaches signaling, all the personnel groups up on the sideline ready to go in and out of the game. They've got to condense their time now in order to try and get back into it. And
he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So the incomplete pass brings up second down.
Let's go! Blue Raiders! Blue Raiders!
But he can't hang on. He had a good shot there for his third pick of the game. Instead, it's third down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there.
Here we go! Blue Raiders!
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. So here we go, first and 10 now.
Here we go! 319! 319!
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. Third down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
Well, they brought in an extra defensive back here, so probably not expecting a run on 3rd and 3.
A good call.
Here we go!
And almost intercepted. That would have been his 3rd pick in this game alone. Instead, 4th down. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
The Charger offense making their way back out there. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Off the play fake. Robbins. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on fourth. Here's Drew Kaiser now, as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. They need a touchdown, the two-point conversion, and a field goal. Pretty good start to the drive, though.
Yeah, good start to the drive, but the urgency has to really be increased by both the players on the field and everyone on the sidelines. Got to make sure everyone is up and into this game.
Second down to the offense, needing 5 yards. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right.
Third and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass.
Here we go now. 3-19.
And this is going to be incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll step aside and come back to Carson after this. Throw left side complete. That's Campbell. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance. In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Over the middle, complete. That's Newton. And he'll go down at the 28. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make...
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Incomplete. So it can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. No chance at all. Way easier said than done.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Charger defense stands tall, and they get the football back. Well, they had to take one final shot at the end zone, but now things are looking really bleak.
And I agree with that totally. You had to take the shot if they did score. You know, whether you called it miracle or not, you line up, onside kick, get the ball back, throw one more in the end zone, who knows? Had to take the chance, it just was unsuccessful.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12.
Come on, let's go. 190. 190.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That'll be their 2nd, so one more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready.
Here we go. Flex round. Flex round.
On 3rd down, they'll try and run for it on the draw. Now a timeout called for by the defense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a 4th down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went 4 and out, so I don't think it's a deal where the offense doesn't have confidence.
No, I agree with you totally on that one. If anything, they may have gained more confidence. Okay, they stopped us once. That's all right. Let's keep moving it. Make them do it again.
Give them 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Obviously a tough spot here. They need a lot of luck to win this game, but still a small chance.
They've got to make sure they get the ball to the sidelines, get out of bounds, preserve clock.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line. And the spike comes now with just under 40 ticks left. And he goes out of bounds across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
And he goes down. The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line. And now down to 14 as he spikes it to stop the clock. Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Campbell. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. Well, partner, even though my phone alarm failed me this morning and I missed our AM workout, we still made it through this thing together, didn't we?
Well, you always know I need extra workouts just to keep up with you, so it doesn't matter. But thanks for sharing a booth, and thanks for being our quarterback.
Yeah, you're the quarterback. Always a pleasure, my friend. So for the home team here, it's a 10th win of the year now as they move to 10-4. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Southern California, so long, everybody.